Welcome to the Team Superdad podcast. Are you having enough fun? Yes, you need to ignite your masculine energy with fun, adventure, and friends. And if you're not having enough fun in your life, well, then you need to tune in to today's episode. Roll theme.
Welcome to Team Superdad. Real dads creating their best lives ever. More time, more money, more fun. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.
Welcome back to the Team Superdad podcast. It is great to have you here. It is in the morning in the UK as always, but you may be in the afternoon, the evening. I don't know, whenever else. Perhaps you're awake at night trying to get to sleep. Hopefully this isn't going to make you fall asleep. My name is Johnny Jensen. I'm the host of the Team Superdad podcast. I'm also a dad coach and the founder of the Team Superdad community. We are modern men creating the life that we desire, not a life that we feel stuck in. And it is about living with power, about your masculine energy, about being the leader in your family, in your work, in your own life. So if you are one of those dads, then make sure you're in our community. Get over to teamsuperdad.com/group. And if you're watching this and have other men, mates, friends, brothers, sons in your life who need to see this, then get sharing it right now. Hit that share button as we start on the lives. Of course, if you're listening on the subscribe, well, share the podcast with your family and friends as well. Today's episode, we are talking about reward, the fun, the R&R, relaxation time, basically the quality time that you create for yourself in your life. The R in the power code is the top of our pyramid, of our triangle. A lot of power in triangles. Coach Wooden's triangle. Is it triangle of success? I love Coach Wooden. I've read lots of his books and watched his videos. The most successful college basketball coach of all time. If you're a fan of Ted Lasso, then you might have heard it referenced. It's on the wall. It's in if you look in Ted Lasso's office, in a frame on the wall, you got Coach Wooden's, I think it's called the Pyramid of Success. So yeah, go and check that out if you haven't. It's definitely, I would count him as one of my mentors, even though I don't know him clearly. I've learned a lot from Coach Wooden. Oh yeah, fun, the pyramid, right? Yeah, purpose is the bottom of the pyramid. Ownership, that is the ownership of your mind. Toxic energy versus positive energy. The W for do the work. Engage, which we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. That is the people in your life that matter the most. Your mentors, your family, your friends, your relationship, your partner, your wife. Basically, the people around you that influence you the most. And then on to the final part of the whole power code process. Reward, fun, we also relaxation, the time that you spend with yourself. It doesn't matter how successful you are, what you've created, what you're working on, where you're headed. If you're not having enough fun along the way, if you're not finding reasons to laugh and relax and basically have plans to look forward to and memories to look back on, then what's the point? And it does actually go deeper than that, but quite literally, what is the point? And it's not about ultimate success. You could be failing at your endeavor, but so long as the endeavor is clear, so long as the direction you're headed is clear, then the act of actively pursuing that goal, well, that's the essence of fulfillment. Having a clear direction and actively pursuing it is the essence of fulfillment. And so, as Winston Churchill said, going from failure to failure without any loss of enthusiasm, that's the definition of success. And having fun along the way is absolutely vital. It's what men do best, being able to be working hard, slogging your guts out, being in the flipping trenches, being down a coal mine, like being on a oil rig, like I'm trying to think of tough environments, okay? Or being an exhausted dad, right? If you can't find reasons to laugh and relax, then you are not only going to burn yourself out, but what's the point? Where's the essence of life? And through some of my tough times, my dad has said to me in the past, problem is, son, I'm just not sure you're having enough fun. definitely is a couple more swear words in that. And there's definitely a couple of more swear words in most sentences, my dad says. So, but you get the point. You get the point, right? So the thing is, as men, and I've got two new dads have joined the Power Code this week, right? And they're in the same boat. Well, that's not true, actually. One of them's single, going through a divorce. The other one is a business owner. He's a family man. His relationship isn't quite in fact, all aspects of life aren't quite how he wants them to be. But the situation is the same. And I felt it myself. You're focused on the family. You're focused on growing the business, having enough money. You think, I've got to look after my wife. I've got to make sure that she's happy. And so we've created this modern day nightmare where we put all of our energy into everybody else, hoping, expecting that it's all going to work out for us. Like, if I'm a good enough guy, it's all going to work out. So as will have heard me reference so many times before, Dr. Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. This is the essence of being a nice guy, is putting all your focus on everyone else, hoping that it's going to work out. And then when it doesn't, having nothing to fall back on. And by the way, you could have it all working. Let's say have it working in 4 out of the 5 areas of our F5: focus, fitness, finance, family, and fun. But if one of them really is struggling, then like any kind of toxic pollutant, it will seep into other areas and drag you down. You can't have a broken relationship and expect to thrive at work and be smashing it at the gym and even your relationship with your children. One part of it's broken, your health. If you've got constant back pain, then it's going to impact the rest of your life. It just happens. And so carving out time for fun in your life is absolutely vital. If you have nothing to look forward to, it's very much around the essence of fulfillment. Having things to look forward to gives you the motivation and drive and satisfaction of a tough day, because you've got a fun weekend coming up, or when you get home you're going to be able to actually relax. Too many men just don't even know how to relax. Or worse, business successful people, they'll go home and they're so focused on work that simply sitting down, having a beer, watching the match, or even going out on a date with their wife, it occurs like guilt. It occurs like a panic, like I should be doing something else. You'll find it with your kids as well. You're supposed to be looking after the kids. You're supposed to be hanging out with them, and you've got 75% of your attention's on your mobile phone. Dedicated quality time and your own fun fits into that. Probably next week we'll talk about bucket lists and adventure. But this week, okay, and it is that triangle, understanding that at the top of it all, at the end of the day, the reward and the fun, the celebrating your results is what sets you up for the next day. So let's talk about that relaxation part, that's celebrating the results, actually rewarding yourself. If you plan your days, right? If you plan your weeks, if you've got a schedule, again, that's part of doing the work, part of the Power Code, then you will have a list of things that you were working on that week, a set of actions or goals. It's too easy in life to get to the end of the day and be fixated by what we haven't done in that day. The irony is, if you've got off your ass and actually done anything you were supposed to do, that you will have achieved things. And yet, instead of feeling the reward of looking at what we've achieved, feeling happy that those emails went out, that the podcast got edited, that that we optimize, I'm thinking about what I've got to do today, right? That we optimize the YouTube video, then will we get to part run? Maybe not, given that the late start this morning after bloody StreamYard problems. But to focus on all the things that didn't get done, and then to miss the fact that this did happen, that my daughter is going to the cinema at lunchtime, and I'm going to drop her off, that Jago and I are going to get on and probably go to the park and do something ourselves. They're the bits that we did get done. So getting to the end of the day and reflecting on that and taking stock of that, it triggers the dopamine effect in our brain, our reward center, knowing that we achieved on what we set out to do triggers the reward center. And if you don't do that, if you just focus on what didn't get done, then you aren't going to get that hit, that dopamine hit that comes with achievement. So that's why it's so important on just a micro level to get home at the end of the day and to sit and to take 10 minutes for yourself, whether it's a glass of wine, a cup of tea, a walk the dog, a jog. Like it can't just be, I've just got to walk the dog or I've just got to go to the gym. It's got to be a conscious moment where you sit and do that for yourself. And you're like, yes, this is what I did today. And I am the man. It's like part of the reprogramming, the affirmation cycle in your mind. Okay. So that's the importance of celebrating your day and reviewing what you've achieved, celebrating and rewarding yourself with a conscious moment. And by the way, sitting down and watching the football in the same way as playing with your kids, if that's something that you get joy out of doing, then actually do it. Don't sit there and feel guilty about doing it and half do it. Actually give yourself that time and consciously notice, I'm sat on the couch enjoying this because I worked my ass off for another 8 hours of the day. Okay. Now, planning for fun, right? In the same way as everything we've just spoken about in rewarding your day, if you've got plans down the line, things that you're actively looking forward to, then the sense of hopelessness or the resignation, or is this as good as it gets, like going round the hamster wheel, the rat race, whatever an analogy you want to give yourself, when you'll know it yourself when you book a holiday. Suddenly when you book that holiday, you feel better. And so, but don't leave it to only 2 weeks of the year. You need to make sure that you're consciously carving out these opportunities, these plans, these events, these things to look forward to. So date night with your wife, with your partner, that is an essential activity to carry out each week. For your relationship, it's important to know that inside of the stress and strain and exhaustion and busyness, that you've got time together to look forward to. Your friends, too many of the men inside of Team Superdad, they don't see enough of their friends. It's not that they don't have any friends, although when you don't see anyone for bloody months, you get left with that idea, I've got no one to turn to. Another vital reason why you have to be constantly in contact with your friends and planning for weekends away, for opportunities to see them, for lads, holidays. When you put those moments into your diary, it gives you anchors, like literally in your sanity, that somewhere down the line, somewhere next week, somewhere next month, we're doing this. And it gives your brain a release. It stops the stress and strain in one area and allows you to go off to the other side and to be in a more creative, relaxed, enthusiastic, excited place. And so, yeah, like the holiday example, the moment you book a holiday, you're looking forward to it. But what else could you book? What about concerts and festivals and gigs? Like these things are happening. We went to Mickey Flanagan last week at the O2. Bloody brilliant, very funny. Although the support act was absolutely shite, absolutely unbelievable. Talk about like gauge the room. I'm going to talk about that in another live, but yeah. But anyway, Mickey Flanagan was bloody brilliant. But we bought those tickets 6 months ago. So if you don't plan for these things, then you're never going to get yourself there. Spontaneity, obviously great, but if you go, if you have everything you do is spontaneous and last minute, then you don't trigger that that thing we just spoke about in terms of being able to look forward to, about seeing it on your calendar, about having a destination in mind down the line. Reward. So laughter. Yes, that's where I was coming on to. Laughter. As creatures, we're one of the few animals. Now, I'm not Terry Nutkins or or Steve, whatever his name is, the Aussie that sadly died from the stingray bite. But laughter is, we are one of the few animals on Earth, as far as I know, where we can just generate laughter. Now, if you've ever done any laughter yoga, sounds bloody strange, but laughter yoga is literally the act of creating laughter. Like even now, I'm sat here on my own recording this podcast, and I've laughed, or at least suggested that I'm laughing by making a laughing sound multiple times during this episode, during this live. The brain is a dumb machine, as well as being incredibly powerful. When we trigger laughter, then all the feel-good chemicals that are associated with laughter get generated. So laughter yoga, in terms of a self-regenerative process, is the act of spending half an hour laughing. It's on my list of things to train in, but I did it in Brighton. I've done some with, I've forgotten his name, a guy I met on LinkedIn during lockdown. We've done a few sessions together, a few lives together as well. But if you're not having reasons to laugh, then you're missing out on all those feel-good chemicals that come with the act of laughing. So how do you laugh? Well, you can just make up a reason to laugh. You can think back on a happy memory. You can look at old photos. You can put episodes of Friends or Seinfeld or, I don't know, whatever else you used to watch that you find funny. 40 Towers. I don't know what's new. Oh, Ted Lasso. Like, be tuned into things that make you laugh. Because if you're not, then like any habit, you'll just find yourself laughing less and less. And so the dopamine, the endorphins, the positive feel-good chemicals that come from laughter, you'll be missing out on. And this whole subject around reward is about those the feel-good factor, the reward that comes from having had good people in your life, having been to an awesome concert, having hung out with family and friends, having watched an old movie or some TV to yourself, and simply going to bed with a smile on your face. These habits, these quality time that we fail to give ourselves, are a downward spiral. And that's why so many men are struggling. That's why so many men will use distraction as a way to find joy, whether that's too much booze, too much porn, too much gambling, too much sniff, too much, like any of these things that are a distraction. You're looking for that hit of fun. Well, the hit of fun can be created at any time in any place, either at the end of your day, either by planning weekends with your mates, looking forward to date nights, scheduling things with your children so that it's quality time, finding reasons to laugh every day, booking holidays. You know, Christmas and birthday or New Year, they're coming round. So why not have a birthday party planned? Why not have a New Year's Eve party planned? Why not be in contact with all your old friends, whether it be schoolmates, uni mates, workmates? Like, why can't you be the beating heart of your own social circle? Guess what? No one else is coming for you. The amount of fun that you have in your life, as well as being vital, is also on you. So put it together. Look at the next 12 weeks. Look at the next 12 months. Make sure that you have got plans to look forward to, so that next time we're sat here talking about this, you've got memories to look back on. And remember, like everything we do in Team Superdad, this is the example that you're setting your children. How do you want them to speak about you? How do you want them to remember your childhood? As a stressed out, boring, fat bastard? Or as the dad that had it all and created constant, regular reasons to laugh? That is the essence of living with power. That is the R in the power code pyramid. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the Team Superdad community. What fun are you up to this weekend? What have you got planned? Are you watching the FA Cup with your mates? Is it Champions League final next weekend? Are you going paddleboarding? No, not going paddleboarding. It's bloody. When is the sun coming? 3rd of June. Are you kidding me? But yeah, what are you up to? What are you finding? What is making you laugh this week? As always, get yourself over to teamsuperdad.com/group to be part of that community. And in terms of living with power, of getting the power code in your life, being part of the coaching program, the group of men who are actively working with me to create the life that they desire and to be the man and dad that their family needs, then go to teamsuperdad.com/15 call, and that will book you in to have a conversation with me about what you're working on, what you want out of life, and how the power code can help you make it happen. Remember to share this podcast, share this live, and I'll see you next week on the next episode of the Team Superdad podcast. Team Superdad out.
This has been Team Superdad. Find us at teamsuperdad.com. Join the program and create the best life ever for you and your children. You are not alone. You're on Team Superdad.